I was here for the special meeting of the Norman Board of Education when they approved a bond election for February. If approved by voters, this could mean hundreds of millions of dollars for Norman schools. Some utility companies, like OG&E here in Oklahoma, send their crews to other states in order to help repair the damage. Roughly 48,000 Cleveland County residents will participate in early voting this year, a process that starts tomorrow for voters in Oklahoma. With large outages over the past few winters, OG&E is preparing for the cold winter season coming this year. Those at the polls today say it comes down to candidate stances on inflation and education for who they cast their ballot for. That's right, guys. Candidates Annie Menz and Teresa Sterling told me about their most important issues heading into the election. Over 60 trucks filled with OG&E linemen and support staff are expected to arrive in Tampa today. Voters will be able to vote on the bond February 14, 2023, and the bonds will have a limit of 5 years after they've been issued. Reporting live, Austin Pratt, OU Nightly. Gabriella Stone, I was here for the special meeting of the Norman Board of Education when they approved a bond election for February. If approved by voters, this could mean hundreds of millions of dollars for Norman schools.
Ted Bice?
Yes.
Linda Sexton? Yes. Dirk
Over
O'Hara?
$350 million, to be exact, to improve Norman Public Schools.
Working with this board over the last few years, wanting us to be aggressive and provide what we can, everything we can for our faculty, our students, our parents today. I think we've put together a great package.
Part of the bonds include a new performing arts center, esports facilities for both high schools, and a new football stadium for Norman North High School, a long-desired item for Norman.
The football team in 25 years has never had a home game, not once. They played at Harvard Collins, but it's not on their campus for their team.
Additionally, the money will go towards renovating all of the schools wherever needed most, including eliminating portable classrooms outside the buildings.
You see on most of those elementaries getting out of a portable and into a permanent building. That's something we've talked about my 8-9 years on this board. And so
the board looks forward to the future, with many potential new resources available for all students.
Upgrading and just evolving. Our students are evolving constantly, and we have to evolve with them. And that's, I mean, we will always be doing this to be a premier district.
Voters will be able to vote on the bond February 14, 2023, and the bonds will have a limit of 5 years after they've been issued. Reporting live, Austin Pratt, OU Nightly. Thanks, Addie. When natural disasters hit, some utility companies, like OG&E here in Oklahoma, send their crews to other states in order to help repair the damage. It's called mutual assistance and is common in the utility world.
So OG&E answers the call to other utilities across the nation when a natural disaster is expected to hit. We sent 95 line restoration and support personnel to Tampa, Florida to help restore power in the event of power outages happening as a result of Hurricane Ian.
Days before Ian makes landfall in Florida, OG&E was already dispatching their crews there.
We typically deploy before the storm hits so that we make sure that we get there with enough time that our crews aren't driving in unsafe conditions and that we are staged and ready to restore power quickly.
Oklahoma is no stranger to severe weather and has experience dealing with severe storms, as well as benefiting from mutual assistance in the past.
So we have had to make calls to fellow neighboring states and ask for help as well, following tornadoes or large windstorms or hailstorms, ice storms. We've had several utilities come and help us before, and so we're always happy to return the favor.
OG&E says they're happy to help because someday Oklahoma will need help too. Over 60 trucks filled with OG&E linemen and support staff are expected to arrive in Tampa today in order to begin preparations. Reporting live, Austin Pratt, OU Nightly. Addie, Tyler, back to you. Those at the polls today say it comes down to candidate stances on inflation and education for who they cast their ballot for. Many issues are influencing votes.
Of course, inflation is on everybody's mind.
I would say the economy and education are kind of the main things that affected me today. So there's been huge rising prices, mainly due to inflation.
Yeah, education. That's kind of like my main issue.
The voters who spoke with me about their decisions share who they voted for and why.
I voted for the Governor Stitt, and because he was a businessman, he can't be responsible. Well, I mean, the ads were insidious.
Hofmeister, mainly because the issues Stidis had with tribal sovereignty in particular.
I voted for Joy Hofmeister because I think, again, since education is kind of what's really important to me right now, and I feel like she is an advocate for public education.
The governor race in Oklahoma is expected to be a close one and will come to an end soon. Polls close at 7 o'clock tonight. Make sure to bring a form of identification. Your tribal ID can also be used as a form of identification. Reporting live, Austin Pratt. Thanks, guys. Roughly 48,000 Cleveland County residents will participate in early voting this year, a process that starts tomorrow for voters in Oklahoma. To counter the long lines on Election Day, Oklahoma lawmakers have made early voting more accessible.
The state legislature added an extra day of voting this year that we haven't had in the past. Normally our voting days on a state or federal election are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. New law went into effect, so now we will be voting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
With early voting and mail-in ballots available, it's easy to avoid those long Election Day lines.
It's a lot easier, faster process than on Election Day in the polling places because we have more people taking care of the voters. We can look voters up a lot faster on a computer instead of going through a book.
Early voting on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is from 8 to 6, and on Saturday is from 8 to 2.
And in Cleveland County, we have 2 voting locations. We vote early next door to the county office building in the fairgrounds, and then we also vote at Moore Norman Tech Center.
All registered voters can vote early. They simply need to show up to a voting location with ID. Reporting live, Austin Pratt, OU Nightly. Bringing change to the economy is important for both candidates. Annie Menz describes her approach to change as finding solutions for working families.
And that touches a lot of different issue points. So when we talk about that, it's protecting public education, doing something about raising the minimum wage, and our housing crisis. We've got a lot of renters in my district, and I want to be able to help them.
One of the most important issues for Republican candidate Teresa Sterling, whose mother was killed in a nursing home, is elder abuse in Oklahoma.
I've knocked over 5,000 doors, and I would say 1 in every 6 person has the same or similar issue, where they feel like their family member was either abused or neglected in a nursing home. So that's definitely one issue I feel like we have to deal with.
Both candidates strongly oppose the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority plan to build an expressway through eastern Cleveland County and hope to create economic solutions for Oklahomans. With large outages over the past few winters, OG&E is preparing for the cold winter season coming this year. OG&E says it is ready when the temperature plummets.
In fact, with winter coming up, we actually start in the fall doing extra to prepare our power plants to make sure that we don't have any losses in our power generation fleet before the winter gets here.
With new equipment for all types of power lines, they are reducing extreme weather issues.
We have been able to cut down our restoration time to the customers who experienced outages during that time by almost 50%. And then also we had about 20,000 less customers experience an outage.
Oklahoma is a part of the Southwest Power Pool, a 14-state power grid.
When one state needs help providing power to their customers, they can pull from the larger power grid. So we can do the same thing if something happens and we need to help supply power to our customers. And
sharing power across states can be an important resource when dealing with extreme weather.
Because some of our neighboring states who were unregulated, they experienced significant high bills and loss of power for extended periods of time, which also led to loss of life.
OG&E can also rely on mutual assistance if large storms are incoming, a program where other states come into Oklahoma to help restore the power. Reporting live, Austin Pratt, OU Nightly. Addie, back to you.